Going on, folks? We are live right here from the VK Jones Studios in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. We definitely appreciate y'all joining us. Is the VK Jones Show, the Hoops edition, right here on Rollstream, Facebook Live, YouTube.com. Share, comment, whatever. Just let's get the audience out there. Let's come on here, chat. Get your questions out there and all that stuff. We're gonna talk a lot of hoops tonight. We're gonna talk high school hoops in Louisiana. We're gonna talk NBA, and we're gonna talk college basketball tonight. And we got some guests right here coming on tonight. Coming up, we'll have Jeremiah G Sports Gray. He'll be joining us in the next 15, 20 minutes. He will get into the high school basketball scene. He's everywhere. And hopefully, we'll have Josh Preston. I heard he has a game to cover, but we'll see. If he doesn't, we'll have him on definitely another time. But we'll see if Josh Preston will come on because he did say he had a game to cover. So we'll see if he comes on. But for sure, we're going to have Jeremiah G. Gray Sports in 15, 20 minutes from now. Joining me right now is my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Mr. Jared JB Boyd. What's going on with you, Mr. Steal Your Dibs?
Man, it's Friday. Ready to enjoy the weekend. We got playoff football Saturday and Sunday. We got the national championship game on Monday. Man, it's just sports galore. I'm just ready for all this.
Oh man, you ready for all this? Everybody's ready for all this. And I know people is like shocked and amazed that okay, why in the world you are doing a hoop show because it's been long overdue, and we are going to get into the deep in the hoop season, especially after this weekend. We still got playoffs in the NFL, but hoop season is going like crazy and everything. But before we go any further into basketball, because we're going to start off with the NBA. We're going to go a little something first, going to the NBA. We'll go with the pros first. But I'm going to ask Jared this question. This is a big weekend. They call it Super Wild Card Weekend. And I'm going to ask you these two questions right quick before we go further. For one, what do you think about this expansion of the playoffs that now that the two seed of of the conference now has to play on Wild Card Weekend, and also the New Orleans Saints, who is the two seed, that has to play the Chicago Bears. What are their chances of not just winning on Sunday against the Bears, but a chance for them to win it all, knowing this is Drew Brees' last season?
Well, I'm gonna start off with your first question. Um, it has its pros and cons. I get to see more football on the first weekend of wild card weekend. I get to see 6 games instead of 4, so that's a plus. But it's this was a money move by the NFL. That's all this was a money move to make more money. Let's go from 6 to 7. That was a money move. And don't be surprised in another 10 years if they go to 8 teams and then there's no more buys. It's a move to make money. So yeah, I get to see more football. I do like that. That's great. But through it all, like I said, it's a money move. As far as the Saints and their chances to win Sunday and their chances to win it all, you gotta look at it like this, man. The past 4 years, you can really say that the Saints been the best team in the NFC. You can say it. 11-5, 13-3, 13-3, 12-4. But it's been heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. That's the killer part right there. Knowing that we should have at least been in one Super Bowl, but we were not. We were not in it. Didn't get to it. Robbed in one. Minnesota Miracle. And then the Vikings game, don't get me started. So here we are, another year. Yes, we should beat the Bears. Drew Brees should be able to pick the Bears up, or pick them up. He said just carve them up. Just don't throw towards, to me, one of the best safeties in the game, Eddie Jackson. Don't throw towards him. Other than that, we should carve them up with the pass. The run game should work with the O-line that we have. This should be a win, but the Saints cannot come out overlooking any opponent. That's what they did last year against the Vikings. They overlooked them. The Saints were the better team, but that day they were not the better team because they were cocky, overconfident. We're gonna put on an all-white uniform. We're gonna look good, feel good, all that goddamn crap, man. Forget that. Get out there, punch somebody in the mouth, take care of your business one game at a time. This is a game the Saints should win, hands down.
Very much agreed. Very much agreed. And I like that. And but does the Saints have a chance to hopefully win the whole thing, regardless of them being the two?
Yes, they have a great shot. Stay healthy, run the ball. Sean Payton stays out of his ego and runs the ball like he needs to with Kamara and Murray. Run the ball, then run a little play action, and let the defense do what they've done most of the year. They have a great shot to win it. Like I said, they've been the best. They've been the best team in the NFC out of these past 4 years, hands down. They've been the best team. So there's no excuses anymore. Get the job done. They have a great shot to
I,
to get to the Super Bowl and win the whole thing. They do.
and I believe that too. I think it's like I said, by hook by crook, Saints are gonna win it all, and they got to do it this time for the man Drew Brees to close out a great career and also a great winning era for the New Orleans Saints. What a way to end it for the Saints that they get it done.
You
You know
think
what I'm
Drew
saying?
Brees is retiring? You really think so? If
I
they win
he
if they win a
did it.
championship?
Did it? It's got that's got to be it. This is just like with Jerome Bettis and also Peyton Manning. I mean, the Swan songs. Most of the time, you got to go out a winner, and now with a lot of the publications saying that Breeze, and I'm glad he's making the decision to do it because of the fact what happened this season, especially with the injuries. It's like I got to wrap this up. If he wouldn't have had those injuries, maybe he might do another season. But if he would have won it, if he even didn't get hurt, he would have been like, "Nah, I'm calling the raps, man. I didn't did everything for the city. Plus, I done got this team 2 world titles. So I'm like, I done made all this money. I'm straight." And if I think he would have made the decision if they would have won the whole thing without the injury. But now with the injury more than ever, it's like, man, I'm not trying to go no more. I'm trying
I
to wrap this up right here. So,
this this
you
is
know,
how I feel about it. If the Saints win the Super Bowl, Drew Brees is done. If they do not, I got a feeling Drew's gonna come back for another year. You gotta also remember, Drew is about records. And if he's close to Tom Brady and this only record that he wants right now, because he has so many, but that passing touchdown record, if he's close to Tom Brady at the end of the season, end of the postseason, whatever it may be, do not be surprised that Drew Brees is back next season.
mm. Whew. I get it, but to me, I just hope to get it. I just hope they win the whole thing, move on, and I understand what you was talking about in the post earlier for Deshaun Watson and everything, but I get it. But I'm like this, Deshaun Watson is one part of the plan, and the other part is Matthew Stafford. You got to bring somebody in if you're gonna keep this era going, because I'm telling you now, you don't want to be like them teams that was up in the top and all of a sudden they're down bottom. So to me, if Breeze retires, Deshaun Watson better be at least a factor in it. They don't get him. Matthew Stafford's the next option. That's just real, man. You got to find somebody that's a true successor. I'm like this. I don't care when anybody say I'm not ready for James to be the successor. I'm not ready for it. It's just not. It's just not me. We need somebody proven, and Stafford and also Deshaun Watson are proven, truly proven. And it's amazing that these two just was in bad situations. And now they could go to a contender. So we'll see down the line.
Let me
But
let me
go
say
ahead.
one more thing. One more thing. Be quick. Be very quick.
Go
Um,
ahead. You
I
good?
like both options. I just don't see Deshaun Watson happening because that's $39 million a year. I don't see it when you paid Mike Thomas 20 million a year. Kamara got his money. You're gonna try to re-sign Ramsey and Lattimore. We're gonna see about that. That's a lot of money right there. Matthew Stafford, on the other hand, you don't have to pay him $30 million. You can probably get him around $25 million, close to the market, $25 million, 26, 27, which they can afford. Plus, Matthew Stafford has run his years since he was in Detroit. For most of them, he's run the Saints offense, the same exact offense. So he knows the system already. Easy fix.
Exactly. Exactly the point. Your thoughts right quick on, the state of Louisiana once again gets their shine in college football. Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner. Your thoughts on the Amy Warrior winning the Heisman?
Deserved. Very well deserved. He was the best player in college football. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. And I even said when he broke the punt return for the touchdown, I said right then and there, there's your Heisman Trophy winner. I had a feeling if he continued to just get receiving touchdowns, they would have given it to Matt Jones. I had a feeling, but that punt return touchdown of his, to me, opened the door for the first wide receiver to win the Heisman in 30 years since Desmond Howard. So to me, well deserved, best player in college football this year.
And it was awesome for the community meet to came out there, especially Coach Zephaniah Powell. Shout out to him and shout out to those coaches at A meet. And I know they was very happy with Devontae's family, and it was amazing how it was a big old celebration in the town of A meet City. So shout out to them, shout out to A meet Warriors and Tangible Hoa Parish. And it's amazing in 2 years from the boot, Joe Burrow and now Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy winners. This is a great time in Louisiana. So as we move on, let's talk first with the NBA right now. This season has been a lot going on. This new thing going on with everybody playing in their home arenas. Not too many fans. Some don't have any fans in the arena. So far it's been really crazy because there's been some contact tracing and also some COVID hits and stuff a little bit. Jared, your thoughts a little bit on that because it seems like it's kind of shaking the season a bit because a couple of big time stars and up and coming stars have been missing games.
Well, this is kind of what we expected. The bubble was a success. They're not going back to the bubble, and this is what's going to happen. You've seen it with college, you've seen it with the NFL. These guys on the road going to different environments and playing. This is kind of expected. So, they have to follow the safety protocols. They're going to be games canceled. They're going to try to make them back up eventually. But this is what it was expected, and not much you can really say or do right now till we get a hold of the virus. So look at Kevin Durant. He had the virus before the season started, number one, and now he's around people that had the virus, and he doesn't have it. But since he was around these people, he has to sit out. 4 games or 7 games, something like that, one of the two.
Right.
So I mean, this is only the beginning. Just got a notification that a couple Mavericks players have tested positive. Just got it when you started talking about this situation, and so those players got a quarantine and everything. So I mean, it is what it is. This is the life we are in right now in a pandemic. And once we get control of the virus, things will get back to normal. But right now, you're gonna have limited fans, no fans, and just trying to stop the spread. That's it.
Yeah, Seth Curry was one of the players as well who had to sit out yesterday for Philadelphia, and it's been unbelievable. And Kyrie Irving, he had suffered. Person, I don't know what that's another subject for another day. But regardless of the fact, I think the way it's going, things are starting to get a little bit rocky and stuff like that. To me, if things keep up the way it is, do not be surprised the NBA gonna come up with another plan and another bubble's gonna happen. Because right now this is not good stuff for the league. The league been operating and doing a good job testing but some people don't know how to stay still. Like we talked about our Camaro last week. Some people, and I'm like this. I understand people got anxieties, people in their head. I get it. I get it. But you are making a lot of money. You have a responsibility. You need to take care of your business, handle up, don't go out too many places, chill. Just chill. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be okay. But I understand that sometimes you can't stay still. And plain and simple, like I said, if this keeps up, I'm really thinking they're gonna do another bubble. And I think that might happen after the All-Star break. So, I wouldn't be surprised that happens again because right now it's not looking too good. The way the aspect of the league is going, especially with this how to handle this COVID-19, and players are getting not just hit with COVID, but contact tracing, and you have to sit. So it's kind of crazy with that one. Looking at
Um,
the season,
um,
go ahead.
you really think the NBA is gonna do another bubble? Because they paid Disney 151 million last, well, for the bubble, 151 million. Will they be? Are they gonna pay that money again? Is the question.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna pay 150. If they don't pay 150 again, they might pay. They're gonna definitely pay maybe about 125 or something. I'm saying that because of the fact that I think Disney, might just give them a little discount or something because of the fact of the success and that what happened last year and everything else. But they might pay it again. I'm saying that because right now that is the only logical thing to do because learning from what happened with Major League Baseball, playing all them stadiums and people getting COVID, teams canceling games and all that stuff. They felt like we need to get direct locations, make it as a bubble for postseason because we can't have all this stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the bottom line. And I'm the biggest thing that's different. I give the NBA credit for one thing that they've been doing a lot. The back-to-back games, the certain back-to-back games they've been having, especially they've been doing it in one location. They'll have one game here. They have one game at the one place, and they'll play at the same place 2 days later. Like I think the Clippers are playing the Warriors again tonight.
Right.
They played a couple of nights ago in Golden State, but they're gonna play again tonight. So I've been noticing that they've been playing in night maybe like one night or 2 nights later or back to back is Miami and the Bucks, and I didn't even notice that they played back to back nights in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So and I think that's a smart thing to do. Playing if they go back to back, just play in the same location and be done with it and move on. And I think most teams are probably getting an off day in between it, so they can just rest up and then get ready for what's next. So I think that's a good strategy there. But I think the NBA's got to put up, man. If things are gonna fall in place, I don't know if I hope the numbers go down that they don't have to do a bubble, but the way it's going across this country, and I already heard in North Carolina they broke another record on COVID cases. So this is not going away anytime soon. We're
Mm-hmm.
hoping by May or June that numbers will dwindle a lot, but the only solution if this keeps on in the NBA is a bubble. It don't matter about the money. It's about safety. It's about getting the season through. So sometimes when when things call for extreme measures, it don't matter about the money. You got to go with all the resources you got. You got to exhaust everything for everything to go through. So, but tonight, looking at one of the local New Orleans teams, the New Orleans Pelicans, after a 4-4 start, tonight they'll take on the Charlotte Hornets up in New Orleans. The battle of the Ball brothers, Lonzo and Lamelo Ball, will be going against each other tonight. And I don't think Lavar will be in attendance. I wouldn't be surprised he might be, but I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know.
If they
So
letting fans in, a certain amount of fans. Where's the game? Here or in what you call it?
it's in New Orleans. The game's
Hmm.
in New Orleans.
We'll see. Oh.
Yeah, but regardless of the fact, the Pelicans 4-4 start. It's been kind of up and down this year. I feel some type of way with Stan Van Gundy taking over as coach. I don't know. That was a good choice by David Griffin. Right now, it's showing a little bit. You see some improvement from the Pelicans, but then you see the same old, same old, same old. Especially with a loss against the Indiana Pacers the way they did. And like I said before, you see some bright spots, especially Steven Adams. I love the acquisition getting him. I don't like Eric Bledsoe there. Just not a good fit. It's just a fact he's not the same since he left the LA Clippers. And then everybody else, Zion right now is really playing well. I mean, he's looking great right now. And I think the Pelicans got a bright future, but look like they might not have the right person to take them maybe to the next level. What you think?
I thought it was a bad hire, but I'm gonna give him a shot. Like I did everybody else, and see what happens. But my original thought it was a bad hire. Now, if you watch some of their lineups, they started Bledsoe and Lonzo, but you don't have a true starting two guard. Yeah, you got rid of Drew that was playing the two, but you never a real starting two guard. So, I mean, me, if I was the coach, I'm starting Josh Hart or JJ Redick for the time being someone who could shoot the ball and get some points. You know, Lonzo's not all that great of a shooter. Eric Bledsoe, I mean, he had probably what 2 good years out there in, with the Clippers or with Phoenix before he went to Milwaukee. I don't think
Mm.
Bledsoe is a bad choice here, but man, you can't have 2 point guards starting your lineup that that can't really score the ball. So man, you need to figure out who you want your point guard to be, and insert JJ or Josh Hart that could come off screens, catch and shoot the ball. Yeah, and that's how I feel about it. I just look at rotations also, and the rotation just has been a has been a killer also since Alvin Gentry was here. So that's the things we need to fix. We've got players to get this team to the playoffs. We have it. You got Ingram, you got Zion. Okay, we got Redick, who's a vet. We can get to the playoffs, but we got to fix things. Get your two guard that can get some points, and it ain't got to be a lot. It could be about 12, 13 from Josh Hart as a starter, and Redick can get about another 12 or 13 off the bench. That's good right there. That's 28 points at least. So that's my feeling about it. Get those two things fixed, and then we could gel from there.
Very much agree. Very much agree. They do need to get things together with the chemistry. They do need to put in JJ Redick. If he could start fine or Josh Hart, they do need to get some more scoring in there. And it don't make sense to have 2 point guards in there. Not at all. You just need somebody to score. And I understand that Van Gundy's putting in defense, which is good, but you got to score. You have to score the ball. At the end of the day, you have to score. That's what it is. Looking at looking at the NBA this season, just been so interested early and stuff like that. So far, Jared, let me ask you this. Now, I know you've been looking at some of the games this season. I don't know if you looked at a lot of them. I know you might have looked at some, but what do you think? Besides, who's the team who's the team to beat this year in the NBA, but also what other teams you think that's like pretty good for this season in the NBA. We know although the Lakers have a lot back, but also a lot of keys this year with Golden State losing Klay Thompson, new coach in Philadelphia and Doc Rivers, the Boston Celtics. What team you're thinking right now that could probably challenge the LA Lakers?
Okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I feel as if the Nets had a better coach instead of a coach that's just letting them play and letting them do what they want to do. A coach that can call set plays and this and that. I would feel real good about the Nets. I would. But
even though they have Steve Nash as a first time coach.
I would feel better if Steve Nash wasn't the coach. Is what I'm saying. I would feel better.
Oh, gotcha.
I would feel better. And you've seen the Nets come out and look great, and then you've seen the Nets come out and then it's just like, what's going on? Seriously, what's going on? So, I mean, Steve Nash said something about, I'm just trying to let the team figure things out. What you mean? You're the coach. You're the head guy in charge. You figure it out and you fix it. You're the coach. Don't let the team run things. So right now, with that being said, I'm on the Philly train with Doc. They're off to a good start. They lost to the Nets yesterday without Kyrie and KD. When you have over 20 turnovers, that's bound to happen. So got to get that fixed. But I'm with Philly. I think Doc has a team now where these guys don't have an ego. Embiid wants to win bad. Simmons wants to win bad. Tobias Harris wants to win bad. This ain't in LA when Kawhi got this contract. I ain't got to do back-to-back games if I don't want to. Funny, Kawhi is playing in a back-to-back game for the first time since San Antonio days. That's funny now. But other than that, Kawhi, they waiting on Kawhi to get to the wherever to catch their flight. Yeah, that caused a bunch of chaos within the team right there. That team had no chemistry. So Doc doesn't have that problem this year. He has players that want to play and want to win, especially Embiid. Embiid plays with a passion. So right now, I say it's Philly. But if the Nets can fix things, they can fix it. I'll go back to the Nets. But I will say the 76ers for right now will be the team that can challenge the Lakers for the championship.
Interesting. Philadelphia making some strides out there. Let's see. To me, I like what I see with I like what I'm seeing out there with the Boston Celtics, the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat has a lot back. I know they're off to a slow start, but I like what Boston's doing. I think Boston could be a worthy challenger. I think the experience of the Heat they could be a team that can really be a team that could challenge the Lakers. The Clippers, we'll see what happens with their chemistry. If they come together with the chemistry, it could be a dangerous team. Now this is gonna be fine. We're gonna find out how real they are, especially with them finally playing together for a whole year.
Yeah,
that was on the problem last season with the Clippers. This year, but my team I'm thinking is gonna challenge the Lakers is the Denver Nuggets. That is my team. The Denver Nuggets has a whole lot of experience. This team has been together for the last 5 years. Jokic and also Jamal Murray. They have a good squad. The only factor I see was crazy that I thought they brought in some good pieces, but Jeremy Grant, that's the only thing I did not like because Grant did some good things off the bench for Denver, and I thought they would have brought him back and probably got rid of Paul Millsap because Millsap getting a little bit older, and Millsap was really getting josted on last year. So I really thought they would keep Grant, get rid of Paul Millsap, but I think Denver still has a good enough team to get it done. Right now they're kind of up and down, but they're gonna get there. But I think, but a team to really like don't sleep on or whatever, and really just look out for. Watch out for the Dallas Mavericks. Watch out for the Dallas Mavericks. The defense is improving a little bit. That's the biggest aspect that they need to improve was their defense, and they got some additional pieces for what's that
Luka.
you got Luka Doncic, and also we can't wait till Porzingis come back because they need him back
That's the
bad.
main kid. They need him in the middle. They need him in the
Yeah,
middle. That's the main key.
they need him back, but I would not sleep on Dallas, not at all, not one bit. Shout out to George Peppers, Herb Mallory who watching this. this live going. We're on till like 7:30. Hopefully Jeremiah G Sports will join us. He's doing some things, getting ready for his game. He's got to cover this evening in the River Parishes. But going on, I like I said, Dallas is a team I wouldn't sleep on this year. And you know, talk about the New York Knicks. What I mean, I know it's just early, but the Knicks are 5-3, and that's a really good start for a very young Knicks team. Without my pick as the best player coming out the NBA draft, in my opinion, Obi Toppin.
Obi
So
Toppin, bro.
yeah, yeah, and he's not healthy right now, but they're waiting for him to come back. But Julius Randle is playing some great basketball, and
That's the
Tom
big key
Thibodeau
right there.
has
They went and got Julius Randle
yeah,
right there.
and Tom Thibodeau has done a good job with this team. He might be the right man for the job over in New York. Your thoughts on the Knicks? They're really surprising people right now.
They are 5-3 is good compared to what we've seen the past couple of years, and you know, bunch of young players. Obi Toppin is one. Alfred Payton is another. R.J. Barrett is there. So they got young talent. They don't have a superstar at all, but they have young talent and players who are willing to play with one another. Kind of reminds you of the Detroit Pistons from years ago, man. Just great group of guys who just play great team ball. And that's what the Knicks are
Hmm.
as of right now. So, if they can get one superstar within the next year or two, one superstar, the Knicks will be talked about again like they were for years. But you have to applaud Coach Thibodeau and his coaching staff for what they have done with the team that they have right now. Coach Thibodeau, he preaches defense all the time. So they're gonna play good defense. But other than that, you have to give the Knicks a lot of credit right now for the start, for their start of the season.
Now the Atlanta Hawks, another team that's surprising right now is the Hawks, and also the Orlando Magic, who's off to a 6-2 start, which that might not last long, but right now Steve Clifford is probably doing his best coaching job right now for Orlando, getting them together at 6-2 and early. But the Atlanta Hawks very very talented, and I mean, my goodness, I tell you one thing, Trey Young has got a lot of help this year, a whole lot of help. Rajon Rondo, Danilo Gallinari, John Collins, Bodan Bogdanovic. And I mean, the one player that the Bucks needed and that thing came through. Now he's with the Hawks. The Hawks has got a nice little team, but my question is the coaching. Can Lloyd Pierce get this team to another level? Can he get into the, because Lloyd Pierce is I don't know if I don't know if he's that good of a coach or not, because Atlanta is just being playing Atlanta.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We gotta also remember they got a lot of new pieces to this team, so they got to gel. I mean, you got Rondo and like you said, the others that you said, so they got to gel. Atlanta will be in the playoffs this year. It's just, I mean, they'll be fighting for that 7 and 8 spot automatically. And I don't see the Cavaliers, I don't see the Bulls making it. The Heat's at 3 and 4. The Heat will get it together. They're gonna make it. The Raptors 1 and 6, and the loss of Serge Ibaka is showing right now for the Raptors. That is showing huge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Pistons, you can say
Yeah.
no. The Hornets at 3 and 5. We'll see. LaMelo's having a good start, so we'll see. But I think the Hawks will make the playoffs. They'll get in. All right. Trey Young gonna be the star. We know that, but I think with these new pieces, they gotta find a way to play with one another to gel, and we'll see from there. But I think they'll make the playoffs.
Hmm. I believe they can do it too. You know what I'm saying? And this might be maybe one of the most talented Atlanta teams in a long time, but we'll see how much gelling they do with the chemistry and all that good stuff. I think, what do you think maybe the key story to this year, Jared, more than anything else in the NBA? I think to me, the key maybe story, maybe game changer this year in the NBA is gonna be Bradley Beal. Because I'm telling you now, I understand he got that contract with the Wizards, but I think he's gonna get traded soon because Beal is peed old and he's sick of being in Washington. And he is a scoring machine. He can play some basketball. Do you think that's one of the big game changers, or is it something else, Jack? Because I really think whoever gets Bradley Beal, it might become a big contender in the NBA. It might could get a team over the hump and get them deep into the playoffs, or maybe a chance at the title.
Well, Bradley Beal is a talent. He can score. I don't see this relationship with Russ working. I don't see a lot of things with Russ working. You know me, from KD to Paul George and Carmelo to Victor Oladipo to going to James Harden. There's a lot of things I don't see working with Russ. That's just me. Um, but yeah, I mean, will the Wizards try to trade him? I don't know. I don't know. I think they might look at it as we got two superstars on our team. Let's try to make this work. Let's see what we could do. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Wizards, but I mean, if look, the Knicks could try to offer something for him, that'll be the biggest key right there. You know, the Pelicans, it'll be great, but no, they're not going to offer anything. There's no way. So I don't know where Bradley Beal can go. I'm sure there's a lot of teams that can go and they've got cap space that can make it happen. But I think he finishes the year there, and then next year we'll see where he goes. But my story, I think they started the season too early. I think they started the season too early. I don't think they got a long enough rest. I think they should have started the season in the middle of January. I think they should have had a 60-game schedule. That's just how I feel. I mean, the season ended in the middle of October, and you're starting off in December. So guys didn't get a lot of reps, especially the guys, that played in the bubble and played in the finals. If you won the team that didn't make the playoffs or that wasn't invited to the bubble, yeah, you got a good rest. You got a good rest since when Rudy Gobert caught the virus. You got a good rest. But teams that was in the bubble, they really didn't get a rest. And then the championship teams, LeBron and the Lakers and the Heat, that's not a rest. So I think they started the season too early. And then you got to look at the Olympics going to happen still in July and August maybe. And players going straight from the season to the Olympics and the season again in October. They should have started middle of January with a 60-game schedule. Max. That's my feeling on it.
That's a real good point. That's a really, really good point right there, more than anything else. And I can agree with that. Maybe they should have just started in January. Maybe to get them enough rest and everything. You could see some of the rust on some of the players and everything else. And it was unfortunate to see what happened with Klay Thompson before the season started, more than anything else, that they kind of rushing the things and all that. So it's gonna be interesting down the line with the NBA just getting started. Still got a long way to go, but so far it's just been very fun. I know things are gonna get in real full bore after the NFL season's over, but they're halfway there. We're halfway there because college football will end their season Monday officially. So
Yeah.
but the games been pretty interesting, pretty hard. Steph Curry with a big night one day, and you got a whole bunch of posterizations and all that good stuff. So it's been fun so far early in the NBA season, but we'll see more. I guess G Sports haven't joined us yet. Hopefully he'll join us in a couple minutes. Let's go into the college basketball NCAA so far this season. Now we're in the conference play. We're in the conference play now. We didn't have to. We had some holiday tournaments this year. Very, very few. They had to move a couple tournaments. They had to do a whole lot. So far, the college basketball season has been all right this year. Not too many cancellations. There've been some, but look like college basketball is holding on a bit, but still with a long way to go. Jared, your thoughts so far in the college basketball season with the COVID situation? That so far it's so good, but still challenging.
It's challenging due to COVID. I mean, just look at how many games has been canceled. Look at Duke canceling their non-conference schedule due to COVID and just going to play a conference schedule. So it's like I said earlier, man. It's crazy. It's what we in right now, and it's not the end. We're gonna have more cancellations of games within the conference schedule. It is what it is. This is the crazy thing about it. So it's not going to stop until we get a hold of the virus, and you're going to see more cancellations. You got to think of the safety of the players first. That comes first. You got to think of the safety, and if they're not safe, then you got to do what you got to do. I know a lot of people thought Coach K was just trying to get out of the conference schedule because he was losing. Coach K, no, he really was concerned about COVID. Still not knowing everything about it. He was just concerned for his players. That's just it. He was concerned for their safety, which every coach must be concerned for first, the safety of your players. So, yeah, we've seen it hit in college. We was ready for the big Gonzaga Baylor game, 1 versus 2. We're not getting it due to that. That got canceled. So, hopefully it gets better. They having the tournament in Indiana at like 6 different locations, which I think is great. It's great. It's like another bubble. You
Right,
want to
right.
have a successful tournament and not cancel it from last year. That's what you got to do. So I get it. I understand it. And hopefully we can continue with college basketball and have fewer positive COVID tests and fewer games being canceled. So we'll see from there.
And they are trying to play this game later on this season. Hopefully they do, because that is going to be a great matchup when these two take on each other. Who knows? That could be a preview of your national championship. We'll see. We'll see about that. But
Check this
you
out.
know,
Check this out. So a ranked Clemson team was going to go to play North Carolina. Okay, it's gonna be the first
mhm.
time ever that Clemson is going into North Carolina ranked to play a unranked North Carolina. That would be the first time ever. But the game got
Mhm.
canceled due to COVID.
Oh my God! And did Clemson beat Clemson? Clemson still hasn't won at Chapel Hill yet, right?
I don't know if they won last year or not, but I'm not too sure.
Because they was 0-50. They was 0-50 something before they took on they was 0-50 something these last all these games, a big old losing streak for Clemson going against North Carolina over the
Hmm.
years. And I know I'm going to do a little research a little bit just to see did they beat Carolina last year at UNC or not, because I know they was on that long losing streak up in
Hmm.
Chapel Hill. Let me see, because they play every year
Yeah, Clemson was
but
the one
over
with the
there.
positive a combination of a positive test for COVID-19 and contract tracing.
Oh my goodness! Wow, wow. So I don't think they played. Looks like they did not play last year in Chapel Hill. Oh, that's right. Last year they did beat them in Chapel Hill. They ended that streak.
Hmm.
So they was looking to try to win 2 straight, in Chapel Hill, and that's not going to happen. So maybe it might be good for David Carolina if they don't play. And Clemson came back from being down double digits against NC State to win that game.
Yeah,
And right now, Clemson, you can say is the best team in the ACC right now. The
you
AC,
can.
this is how crazy this basketball season is, regardless of COVID. This is starting to look like last season, ladies and gentlemen. How wide open that some of these conferences is and wide open college basketball is. The ACC is wide open. The SEC is wide open.
Oh, the SEC is bad this year. College basketball, it is bad.
There is no top team in the SEC. Even LSU is slipping up a little bit. So anybody can win the SEC conference. We had our little good friend Reggie, who big time Kentucky fan, and I said it myself early. It's not looking good for Kentucky. It ain't looking good at all. And it was like, oh, we're gonna do something SEC. I said, no, SEC's wide open, bro. If Kentucky looking that bad and everybody else looking that bad, like goodness gracious, this is not good timing for the SEC. ACC's not looking good either. It is really anytime North Carolina had to survive against an undermanned Miami team, this is bad. This is bad as they come. The best basketball this season in college basketball, and I hate to say it, and it goes upon last year. The western part of America has the best basketball. From you could say the Mountain West to the Pac-12 to even the WCC. They got the best basketball going on this year, and also maybe the Atlantic 10. So trust me, the basketball is everywhere else. I think like they said, the big factor is still that one and done thing. And now it's really affecting college basketball, don't you think, Jared?
Oh yeah, yeah. The one and done has been affecting college basketball. You realize college basketball would have more stars if people would stay. Let's just say, for instance, Blake Griffin stayed um, an extra year, or let's say Carmelo stayed an extra year because he stayed 1 year. Um, Austin Rivers, Anthony Davis, Kyrie. These big time names in college basketball would stay another year. You have more stars, and people would watch college basketball more. And also, if they would stay another year, they would develop their game even more, be more ready for the NBA. And I understand, you know, they're telling you you're a first round pick, you're a lottery pick, and you're gonna get paid. I get it. I totally get it. I understand why you leave. But for the sake of college basketball, yeah, one and done is killing it. If you had, if these players would stay another year, it would make it that much better. Because then think about it. You got stars staying another year, you got more stars coming in. It's better. Better.
Hmm. You say that again. You could definitely say that again. And it's and a lot of stuff is so bad this year. Like you look at, for an example, like Gonzaga, they're the number one team in the country, but they're number one for a reason. They're picking up what they left off in that last year. Last season, I thought it might have been the best chance for Gonzaga to win it all because of the
Nope.
team they had last season.
Nope.
But this year, this is their best chance again. Because
Yes.
here's the thing. So what about the WC? Last year they had a nice schedule and they really had a loaded team. This year they returned a good bit of people and brought in some transfers. And my friend, if you look at their non-conference and who they beat this year, they have beaten number 6 Kansas, Auburn, who's a Final Four team, West Virginia, Iowa, who's number 3 in the country. They beat the living snot out of Virginia. So Gonzaga and in that West Coast has the best basketball this year. Gonzaga has the team to beat right now. They are the number one team. I really think right now they have convinced me that they're number one. You know, do I think they win it all? They have a great chance of doing it this year. The Baylor Bears are looking really good this year with senior guard Jared Butler, the former Riverside Rebel, who is really just killing it right now for the Bears, and he's got some weapons with him, and those weapons are just amazing to see. I mean, they are so amazing, and they had to get by Oklahoma and a couple of teams and everything, but once they're on, they're just killing everything, especially with LJ Cryer and the backcourt with him, Dane Donja, um, Davion Mitchell, who's pretty good, and they got a guy. And let me get him right. Let me get his name right. This dude here, I mean, he could go up and get it. This dude Jordan Turner, not Jordan Turner. Let me get this right. Let me get it right. My if I get his name, Macio Teague, and I mean he could get up. They got some cats that will just knock you down. So Baylor is really really good. They could be another team that could win the whole thing. And man, and I tell you, I like them. And you look at other teams. We can't forget about the Big Ten. That's the one conference I could say that is really good this year, Jared. I mean,
That's the best
top to
conference.
bottom, the
Best
best
conference. Yeah.
conference in the country,
Yes.
top to bottom. It's ridiculous. And the fact of the matter is, everybody's beating each other up. That's how
Yep.
good the Big Ten is. So the Big Ten, you have, I believe, maybe seven ranked teams from the 6 or 7 ranked teams from the conference, and it's unbelievable. And what's funny, the team that is undefeated right now in the not just in the Big Ten, but undefeated, the Michigan Wolverines, and they're number 10,
Number 10. Yeah.
number 10 in the country. Jawan Howard in his second season doing some great things, and I'm surprised that not in the top five. I guess they had played a little soft. They're not in a tougher part of the schedule, but the Big Ten is really, really good, and it can anybody can win the Big Ten. But anybody can win the Big Ten, but that's how good the Big Ten is. That's different than the ACC and the SEC, right, Jared?
Big time. Big time. I mean, ACC down, like you said. SEC is just bad. But the Big Ten, man, you got Michigan, you got Illinois, you got Wisconsin, you have Minnesota. You had a Rutgers team that was ranked. You got Ohio
You got
State.
Iowa.
Yeah, Iowa.
You still got
You got Michigan
you
State.
got
You got
Iowa,
Ohio State.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
You got
You know,
Minnesota, Michigan State,
yeah.
and Michigan State just starting to come along.
You know,
And then
Tom,
you can't
Tom
then you
Izzo has
can't
had
forget about Penn
teams.
State.
Tom Izzo has had teams that start off slow but get better throughout the year, and that might be the case for this Michigan State team. And that the 8-3, good record. Ohio State 8-3, Rutgers 7-3. I mean, this is from top to bottom the best conference in college basketball right now. You can't say nothing bad about this conference, man. Michigan undefeated 10-0. I mean, and
And
Illinois
then
got one of the best players in the nation, and Ayo the Sumu, you know,
right.
and we know Iowa got Luke Garza. It, it's loaded. It's loaded.
And then you can't sleep on Penn State.
No, you
You
cannot
can't
sleep on
sleep
Penn
on
State.
Purdue. You can't sleep on Purdue.
I mean,
So
you look at Penn State. they've had to can they're 3-4. They had some games canceled because of COVID. 0-3 in the conference, but you still can't sleep on them. You can't sleep on them, not at all.
Very much agree. Very much agree. Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting. And man, I cannot wait to see not just what happens the rest of the season. I cannot wait if things go right this year without no COVID being away. That conference tournament is gonna be very exciting. Very, very exciting. And it's probably gonna be in Indianapolis. I wouldn't even be surprised. But I cannot wait to that tournament because that might be the most watched tournament in the postseason. Like besides the West Coast Conference, maybe the ACC, but the Big Ten. I mean, that's gonna be maybe one of the best tournaments in a long time.
And I tell you what, though, bro, there was no conference tournament like the Big East from back in the day, man.
Oh man,
Connecticut, Syracuse, and all them, man, that was the best. Nothing was better than that.
the Big East over at
At the
Madison Square
Garden,
Garden. That was a
yes.
fun tournament each year. Back in the day, that was a great tournament. The ACC was really good, especially when it was in Charlotte, Greensboro. That was a fun tournament there. You know, very few years the SEC had some good tournaments. Very
Yeah.
few years SEC had some very premier tournaments, and it just depends the teams, the year they had and stuff. But I ain't gonna lie, sometimes the I can go way back in the day when the Great Midwest Conference had real good tournaments when Cincinnati, DePaul, and all them was in the conference. Marquette before all the disbursement. That was a fun little conference to go watch in the tournaments. And Metro Conference back in the day when Tulane was winning, the Metro Conference was nothing to sleep on either.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this year it's gonna be fun to see the Big Ten. I really think college bad. It's gonna be wide open once again. Whoever wins it, I think you might have one or two blue bloods, especially from the. I think there will be a Big Ten representative probably in the Final Four, the way it's looking. But also, you look at teams like a Villanova that'll be right there. Creighton that's having a great year so far, and
Mm-hmm.
also St. Louis is off to a great start. You can't forget about Richmond. That could be the Dayton of 2020. That could be the Dayton this year.
Yeah, Richmond doing good.
And
Yes.
yep, and San Diego State. I wouldn't sleep on them. Brian Butcher has a great program, and they're gonna be they also a shaky start. They had a good start, but they're shaky. But their conference is good, so watch for San Diego State. They could make some moves in the Mountain West this year, and could make some moves in the tournament
Yeah.
once again this year. So college basketball is gonna be real fun, and we're definitely gonna see what happens during the season. You know, your thoughts about do you think the NCAA tournament, do you think things will hopefully work out that we'll have postseason this year, Jerry?
I hope it works out, but with COVID, it's just hard to say. I mean, they're trying out a bubble, and if the bubble works, great. It's just a wait and see game, but I hope it works out. Because to me, man, it's the best time. The best time of the year when the tournament happens. It's the best, man. I get off of work and I just sit down and I can watch college basketball from morning to night on a Thursday, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Sweet 16 the same weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then to the Final Four the next weekend. So I'm hoping it works out, and we'll see. You know, it's in Indiana, it's in a bubble. Hope it works out. They got a plan to make it work, and that's where you got to start with. Start with your plan to make it work, and then go from there. They saw the NBA do a bubble. They saw the NBA was successful. Now they saying let's try this all in Indiana, and let's hope it'll work.
Yeah, and I think I think it will work like you mentioned. To me, out of all the sports, the NCAA first weekend to me is like the greatest weekend of all sports to me because of the fact of that morning, noon, and night watching those games, and then on top of that, you can go watch it live, and the price of those tickets are not bad for a package.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's it's more inexpensive than Super Bowl tickets. Trust me,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went to a regional, and I mean, I could not believe I paid about $65 for for a total of 8 games for the whole weekend.
yeah, yeah,
And I mean, the thing is, you gotta get the tickets before they run. You gotta get them months ahead of time because them things are gone. You
yep.
gotta get them ahead of time. Once you get them, you good. You don't, it's gonna be too late. You can't get any of them. But
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it's the most inexpensive tickets to get. I experienced it. I experienced the first, second round. I experienced the final four, but the first, second round is like amazing stuff, man.
Yeah,
Amazing, great weekend. If you want to experience it, cool. Another great experience, go to Vegas for that weekend. And I would
yeah,
love to go to Vegas for the conference tournaments in the West Coast, like the West Coast Conference, the Pac-12 is out there, the Mountain West. I
uh-huh.
would love to go out there one year out there for those conference tournaments.
Yeah,
I think that is the place to be for NCAA tournaments and also for conference tournaments. Las Vegas, Nevada. Trust me on that. Um, moving forward, my friend. Let's go in our last half hour of the show. We appreciate you joining us. VK Jones Show on Roll Stream, Facebook Live, and also YouTube.com. We appreciate you joining us. Share it, tag, whatever, comment. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Now, due to a certain situations, I wish I would have my guest on that would help out a little bit this evening, but I think maybe we kind of a bad night to have them on because of the fact that tonight they have some prep basketball action all over the state of Louisiana, and both Jeremiah Gray and also Josh Preston has to go do their work, do their jobs. Hopefully, we'll have Josh. Jeremiah had a lot of running to do. He has to go cover a game in New Iberia tonight. And the thing about G, he's everywhere. He's
mm-hmm.
originally from Homer, if y'all know him, but at the same time, this dude covers everybody. It ain't just go and cover the Bayou schools. He comes to the city of New Orleans and to the West Bank or whatever, or even in North Shore. He's coming to cover your game. He's covering to get some highlights, and he does that for the love, man. So he told me he's gonna be in New Iberia. I don't know what Josh's gonna be tonight. I wouldn't be surprised. Might be a local game, but let's take a look at the high school hoops a little bit, just a little bit. I don't. I got you on this, Jared. So just follow me, and we're
I
gonna be
got you.
fine.
I'm here.
All right, all right, all right. Let's get into the high school hoops a little bit, man, with the LHSA. Um, so far this season has been very interesting. The talent is everywhere in hoops, but especially in Southeast Louisiana. Southeast Louisiana has a whole bunch of teams. It's maybe one of those big years that talent is just all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Good teams everywhere this year. And talking about it from the River Parishes on is amazing. North Shore and all that good stuff. But maybe the toughest of all the toughest, we thought 4A football was tough in Louisiana. Check out 4A basketball this year. You look at the power rankings. We know the top team right now, 13-0, is George Washington Carver and
Mm-hmm.
head coach Nathaniel Roche, who has done an unbelievable job with an experienced team and also maybe probably the best tandem in New Orleans as they're 13-0 and they have the number one team right now in power rankings. Right behind them is a team in Opelousas that has an unbelievable basketball player that is, to me, maybe the biggest bully of the block in the state. I'll talk about him in a minute. You have McMahon that's 10-3. We have Peabody who has moved up this year. We have Ellender who has a good team this year. Neville who made the top 28 last year. You still have Huntington, Salmon, Edna Carr. I'll tell you one thing: the teams that
Washington
are the way it's
Marion.
looking, Washington Marion. We can't forget about them. Also, LB Landry, who's having a not bad season too.
Look at Lakeshore,
And also
11-1.
Lakeshore, exactly. Can't forget about Lakeshore either. To me, the way it's looking, and I'm gonna ask you this: there have been some years that the 4A bracket has been pretty tough. You usually have maybe 2, 3 teams that can win it. There was one year that it was so wide open that anybody can win it, and I think that was the year St. Thomas More won it. This year, could this be the toughest year ever for any bracket in the LHSA in basketball? Because I have never seen anything like this that could happen this year. Because looking at the power rankings and the teams, my goodness, it's like I don't know who you can pick because somebody could get knocked off and somebody can get hurt. It's going to be a crazy Class 4A. This might be the toughest maybe ever.
Well, it might be. Let's not forget 5A years ago. Let's not to get into any specifics of what happened that season with any team, but let's just name the teams that was in it in regards to Fair Park, Everett, Hammond 1 and 2, Archbishop Shaw, St. All that year with all those teams. We could say it was a toss-up with Everett being the favorite to win it and it didn't happen. So maybe that year, that was a toss-up. It was tough, but dude.
Now, what about the next year? The next year had a lot of those teams back, but then you had the New Orleans Final Four. You had Shaw, Everett, Jesuit, and Jesuit.
I thought about that too. But
I thought that was a tougher one, a little bit of tougher one than the year before because of those matchups in the playoffs. And it was a bunch of crazy matchups that year.
Well, that Shaw team, man, that Shaw team was good. That Shaw team should have won the whole thing. They should have been back-to-back champs. Just started playing bad when we got to Lafayette. Got lucky with Everett, and then Jesuit couldn't miss a shot, and we couldn't stop him. But
and I was shocked at that game. Because I thought y'all was gonna win it. I was there for that Final Four that Thursday, and I my thoughts were, and I thought at first the way things was looking, I said this should be Eric Higgins for the title. That's where it was looking, but Higgins played in the Jesuits' hands, and big shout out to Jason Barnardo and also some really good players.
Jesuit and Ryan Martin couldn't miss nothing
at all. You're right, and I mean they couldn't miss at all. But then Higgins played into their hands. They went back to their slow down ball instead of just trying to outrun them, play man to man. And I really think that was the game plan against Jesuit, and they didn't do it. And it fell in the Jesuit hand is how they got it done. And it was ridiculous because I really thought Higgins had a great chance, especially the way they shot everybody by to beat Kennedy and beat a good West Jeff team with a perfect game plan to beat West Jeff over in Harvey.
Yeah.
And West Jeff was loaded. Yeah. That was a loaded team. And how they got it done, it was just familiarity and also the fact that you're going against them a third time. What you gonna do? And Higgins had a perfect game plan to just get it done that night. But against Jesuit, I was like, you're playing into their hands. Now Shaw, Eric, that was you could say pure luck.
It was luck.
Eric had the Eric had a little bit of a better team than Shaw. Shaw was good, but Eric was better, and it
I,
was just the fact that
I
it
won't
was just the
say they
fact
had a
that
better team.
it
I
was
won't say they
free
had a better
throws.
team. I think it was. I think it was evenly matched. You got Burdette, Curran Forges, D. Brown. We got Kevin Slaughter, Tim Bush. You know, I think talent wise, it was evenly matched. Shaw just at that time getting there just didn't play well, and Eric had the game won. Ledge had to put his
And they
back
had
up
and
to go foul, and Eric couldn't make free throws. Byron LaSalle,
it,
good
they
friend of mine, hit the luckiest three of all time with three people on
I seen it. I seen it. I go way back with Byron LaSalle, and let me trip your head out.
Me too. Me too.
His
Same babysitter
his
kept us.
not just that. His mama taught me in
Okay.
elementary,
Yeah.
so I know the family.
Yeah.
So I and you probably go way back with him too. But I was shocked. I seen Byron LaSalle daddy in the stands, and he was pointing at me. Yeah, I was like, and I had to nod my head. I was like, how? And I know Kevin myself. I know some of these players personally. I know Tim. Me and Tim pretty cool.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, I was like, why you going against? I was like, dude, Eric is better than y'all. I'm not knocking y'all,
The year before.
but
The
at the
year
same
before,
time,
yes.
when I looked at that team,
The year
when I
before.
looked at that team year before that, now and I know one guy, Coach Bates, big shout out to him.
Every
He
base.
always said, but I told him like, see that boy 6'9" Brandon Vincent, and I was there at that Larry. I was like, bro, I'm like, I loved him, but bro, he couldn't hang with no 6'9", bro. 6'9" wasn't having him, bro. I'm telling you, I 6'9" live around the corner from me, and it's amazing about 6'9" how he. I was like, what the hell? And I know, and I remember he was a little short. He was like kind of a little tall, but that dude just sprouted like,
Right it
oh
up.
my god! But when I seen that matchup in Lario, I was like, whoa! I was like, bruh. And I keep telling Bates, I say, bruh, you need to look at that film again, bruh. 6'9" was a freaking fool,
Yeah, but
but it was just a fact that
that same year, Shaw got better as the season went along.
and they
The
did,
next
and
year they
I
took
give them
off.
that. They did.
Yeah.
They did. They did get better. They did
They
get
played
better.
ball
St.
good
All
ball
got
at that
better.
time.
And St. All got better. It was just the fact that they had inexperience. And I believe Eddie Green was starting to carry their team at St. All.
Yeah.
Because they lost a lot of people the year before on that
Mhm.
state championship team with Hollis Price.
Right.
And he just stepped in. But it was just a whole bunch of mistakes, whole bunch of stupidness by the LHSA. And thank goodness now the power rankings came in. But the next year, I mean, the brackets was amazing how they had it done. The matchups was monster, and a lot of those games was maybe some shockers because to me the biggest shocker of that year, the playoffs, was Higgins defeating Kennedy, and that was the biggest shocker because Dwayne Mitchell was a dog, but Jason Williams showed his whole you know what that night. And when I say Higgins was running, and they don't usually run, but Higgins was running and gunning. And I was like, oh my God. It shocked this you know what out of me. And I'm like, okay, maybe Higgins is trying to make a big run here. So that was a great Final Four. But yeah, I was shocked at Jesuit being on fire and winning it because I really thought, like, will Jesuit really get over the hump and win the championship against Shaw and
They
knowing
did.
the athletes that they have, and it's like wow.
They
When I
did.
seen the highlights, I'm like, oh my god! And it was a dude coming off the bench who sparked them for Jesuit and just lit them up, man. I was like,
That was
whoa,
that was always him. Even like playing against him freshman year, he came off the bench. They said a pick for him, he catch and shoot. He was a great shooter. Ryan Martin was a great shooter. You gotta give him. I give him all the credit in the world. The dude can shoot the ball, and that's why he's the
yeah,
MVP of the game. But back to the 4A, man. I think we're looking something close to that year, 2001 year. We're looking something close to it. I mean, Peabody, Ellender. Somebody told me the other day, be honest with you, it's Carver's to lose. Somebody told me this. He said it's Carver's to lose, man, this year.
Well, looking at it, it is it to me. To be honest with you, and it's a loaded 4A. It is gonna be tough, but
how
I
we
think
forget
the guy.
how we
I think
forget
who I think.
Woodlawn Shreve. How we forget them?
Huh?
Woodlawn Shreveport. How we forget to mention them?
Oh yeah, we can't forget about Woodlawn. Not at all. We can't forget about Woodlawn. Like Woodlawn always be there some way somehow. They finally got to the top 28 last year. They couldn't get to the finals. Rashad Johnson, big shout out to him who covers them up in Shreveport. Very good program.
Yeah.
They could get there again too, but I think the guy, your friend who told you about Carver, I think this might be, they are the team. You look at their resume, they got the two best tandem in the state with with Dorian Fitcher and Solomon Washington.
Uh-huh.
My advice to you, Jared, go to YouTube, go to Josh Preston, look at some of the Carver highlights, and go to Showtime Web.
Okay.
Go to their games. When I say Dorian Fitcher, I think it's Fitcher, and Solomon Washington, these two cats are dogs.
Yeah.
When I say they look like the old Carver years ago, James Parlow and company, who won that state title. They looking like them cats.
Okay.
That's who Carver looking like. Them last state championship teams. Them two teams that went to the top 28 back to back, and they finally won it the next year when Michael Jackson won made those two free throws to put it away for Carver to win it all. And Brian Simmons was the head coach at the time. Hell of a job over there. And I say this is a team, and they're experienced too, because they got to the top 28 last year without even playing a home game in the playoffs.
Yes, indeed. Wow.
So now what's going to happen when you got to come to Carver with that big gym? And I know Carver's going to be fat. You can't really have a big crowd, but still, it's still going to be a hostile environment,
right,
even when you go there.
Uh-huh.
So, Carver, the way they play and looking at their resume, they're looking for blood. To me, they're probably the best team all around in the state because they didn't already beat the top teams in 4A, 5A, and defending state champions. They didn't beat Scotlandville. They didn't beat Madison Prep.
Woo.
They didn't beat, their resume is a beast right now.
Yeah.
They just came up, they just beaten Slidell last night. Survived. They have went against the best teams all over. They beat Landry. They beat, I'm telling you, who you name. To me, in my opinion, if they keep up, they might have a good enough resume as Landry Walker 2014. When I say, and I tell anybody, the Landry Walker 2014 state championship team, when they first won the state championship, and I look at their schedule, probably one of the best state championship resumes I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
When you have beaten, basically, out of the state championships, you have beaten 6 state champions on your schedule. You have beaten probably 7 top 10 teams, including East Jefferson twice, including the championship. And you beaten St. Thomas More, who's a hell of a program.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, they had a great, and you look at Fitcher, you look at Washington, and Fred Price, who does a good job. But you also look at a 3 at Landry Walker and Joey Puff Wells. You had Tyree Griffin, and you got Lamar Peters. And Peters was a sophomore that year. And I mean, they're just, and then the thing about it, they had weapons, they had a bench. Coach Brian Gibson did wonders with that team. That resume, maybe out of all the teams I've seen over the years, probably one of the best championship resumes I've ever seen. Because I'm like, bruh. I don't know if Eric could top this resume. I don't know if Shaw could top this resume. This is a major resume. St. Aug may be the closest to that resume because there's been some St. Aug team in one state that beat some hellified teams
Mm-hmm.
on their schedule. You know what I'm saying? And you know, you beat who you beat in front you get. But sometimes you go against the best teams. Like to me, the only thing that kind of tops the Landry Walker one, and I'm not trying to be biased to St. Aug because I went to St. Aug, was the 1995 St. Aug National Championship team, where St. Aug not just beat the number one team in the nation, they beat the number one, two, three, four, and five teams in the nation, winning 35 straight games and one state and national. So tell me anybody who had a championship resume like that. There are plenty of teams out there that had great records, great resumes. I think St. Aug 95 is one of them, and I think Landry Walker 2014 is another one. You know, and I think Eric's the other one close is the Eric 2000. What was it? Not 2001, but the Eric 2001 was a goddamn good resume. It was just a shame that they had to put Hammond and Eric
2000,
one and two.
2000. That's 2000, 2000.
2000. That's what I'm talking about. 2000. It's a
Eric and
shame, and
Hammond,
that
the
was a
same
great resume.
number one
But
and two
man,
team in the
why
state
do it have to
that
do that?
year. In the
That
second
was
round.
and you can tell that was a farce. And I always say to that season, I know you have pride. I know Coach Bates had pride, but I'm like, to be honest, I'm like, what have we been saying? Oh, I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a realist. I'm like, nobody won the title. If been saying, oh, nobody won the title. It's just
We
like when
we
you when
won
I
on the
played
basketball court.
football.
We won on the basketball court.
Right. You want it on the basketball court, but for the integrity of the tournament, nobody won it. Like it's just one year where I played football for St. Aug '95. I think it was the '95 season. We beat Shaw to go on to the quarterfinals. We beat them in the second round. But that year we won district. But they said, "Oh, y'all shared with Holy Cross." No, we didn't. Me and Holy Cross the same record, but we beat Holy Cross head to head.
Right.
We're the champs. Now, one
So
year that St. Augustine Jesuit kind of shared, like, oh, y'all shit. No, Jesuit beat us. They're the champs. They're the champs. Fair is fair.
yep.
So that's how I
I
look at it.
mean, we
Y'all had
know we know what the LHSAA did. Come and get the trophy. Sorry to take the banner down, but we still will say we won it on the basketball court. We know the record. We know the record book's gonna say there's no champion 2000. Not even
not even
um
New Iberia can't even get it.
yeah, who Shaw played Fair Park's a Bird in the championship? No, that's 97. They played Fair Park. Not even Fair Park got the title. Nobody has it that year.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Fair Park could have had it, and they
Yep.
had an eligible player. So it's like when I tell anybody, I'm like, nobody won it that year. Nobody. It was just disaster. It's plain disaster. But you look at, like I said, 4A is going to be great. You look at down the line in 5A, you still got Hanville, who's doing a great job this year. One of your Shaw alumnus doing a great job let me think his name, Coach.
I know you're
On the
talking
tip of
about. I
my
can't think of
tongue.
his name either.
He's on the tip of my tongue. I know Brian Lumar is the principal, but also you have let me do research on that right now because he's on the tip of my tongue. He was a good player at over at Shaw himself, but
Mm-hmm.
he's turned out to be a really good coach, and he's doing some really good things. He did really good with Yusef Jasmine. Yusef
Yeah,
Jasmine, who's
Yusef,
done a
that's right.
great job. I mean, he used to average 19 points a game at Shaw,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a senior the year before Shaw won a second state championship in '97. And man, I remember he that St. Aug went against Shaw, and he had like 30 at night. And I mean, he can play, But as
Yeah.
a coach, he's done a great job at East St. John. Now he's doing it at Hanville. probably has a team to beat to win 5A this year. They might have a chance. They got the top 28 last year. They could get there again. Zachary looks pretty good. West Monroe, but look out for the Bonneville Bruins. And under Michael Higgins in his first year, the longtime assistant under Glenn Dyer, former basketball player. He played with Shan Foster, who was at Vanderbilt. And I tell you, Higgins has done a great job. Big shout out to him. They played a tough schedule. I would not sleep on the Bonneville Bruins making a big run this year. So Hahnville, definitely a chance they can win it all. And, that's pretty much it in 5A. So East St. John is right there in the thick of things in that 5A too. But, but it looks like it's between 5A, 4A with the local teams. Oh, we can't forget about McMain. We can't forget about McMain, who is right there in it, and they played a tough schedule too. They're 10-3 on the year. So definitely. I can't sleep on them. Man, they're having a great year. They got some talented players. Very, very talented players. They always been an up and down program, but now they're on an upswing more than anything else. So I would look out for them. Sophie B. Wright looking pretty good. Sophie B. Wright looking pretty good under Jason Bertrand. I know probably one of his youngest teams, but they're gonna come up. Booker T. Washington is a really good program as well. I would look out for them too. And looking down the line in the Caddy League, it might be wide open this year in the Caddy League. Jared, anybody can win it. Brother Martin would probably be a standout team. Besides the Purple Knights with a new coach and all that stuff. So
can't go against the champs so far still. Scotlandville can't pick anybody else but Scotlandville. 11-2.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah, can't.
Scotlandville,
yeah.
Well, Scotlandville is still right there. The two losses, one of them was to Carver. Yeah, they're still the team to beat. And Cadlick is gonna be right there. Jesuit is gonna be right there. They're off to a nice start this year. But anything can happen in the Caddy League. Shaw is talented as I don't know what. I've seen them beat Riverside. They're very talented.
The Jamboree. They beat Hornville.
Right. But the biggest thing is like the head coach is going to be a factor. Hopefully, he can take them to the next level. It's just been.
He can't coach. I shouldn't be mean on the show about any high school coaches, but that dude there, woo. Yeah, I'm leaving that.
And I think that's been a big factor for Shaw because over the last 3-4 years, your alma mater has seen talent, some really, really good talent. And it's going by the wayside. It's like they're getting college, but they're not taking it to the next level and win. 1 year they went against St. Aug and lost in a very low scoring game, which could have been worse. But
that game against Jesuit last year, you got the lead by 4 with a minute, and all of a sudden you play not to lose, and you lost the game. That blew my mind right there. That blew my mind.
Yeah. And also down the line, Division III, like you look down the line between you still got Riverside, who's a really good team in Division number 4. They're number 2 in the power rank of Southern Lab, who's right there number 1 in Division 4. There's something else that they're in Division 4 now, and Crescent City still the team to beat in that division right there. And Sean Dumas has done an awesome job. It's amazing that he's not the new head coach of St. Aug. He's still at Calvary Baptist, and he still has a whip up on him over there. So Calvary is really doing some great things over at the school, and it's a blessing that he's keeping. I'm sorry, not Calvary, Crescent City. He's doing some great things in Crescent City, keeping the school open and still having a great winning program, sending kids to 4-year schools. It's amazing what he has done. That's one of my choices last year for the coach of the year in high school. He's really done some great things over the program and look out for Isidore Newman. Isidore Newman is
Yeah, Randy
especially
Livingston.
with
Yep.
Randy Livingston returning to alma mater. This could be the year that Newman gets back to glory and take home a state championship. And they got some talent. They
Yep.
got some talent on their team, man. I'll tell you,
They do.
you need to take a look at some of their games, man. I mean, when I say Newman is good, they started to look like a couple of old Randy Livingston teams back then, man. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
when I say they were beating teams, they were beating teams.
Right.
I mean, teams, bro. Like it could be Eric, it could be St. Aug. When they went against those guys, Randy Livingston had no remorse. He had a killer instinct, like I don't know what, and it was amazing how people underestimated him when he went to Newman. Oh, he going to this, and he from the hood,
Mm-hmm.
so people underestimated him because he went to this prep school and stuff, and he just was just murdering them. Like, okay, bro, you think it's? I still didn't forget. I think he went against Vanderbilt Catholic one year, and they played at Nickel State, and he just was like, oh man, like, bruh. I think that's on YouTube, I believe. But I was like, Randy Livingston was a fool back then, but he's a good coach so far. He's done some great things. Man, look out for Newman, bro. But we appreciate everybody joining us here on the VK Jones Show for this hoops spectacular, this hoop special. Man, Jared, I appreciate you, bro. I told you, man, I got you.
No doubt.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Yes,
No
sir.
doubt.
Yes, sir. Now, Jeremiah Gray and also Josh Preston, shout out to you guys, man. I understand y'all had a game tonight. This was not maybe an easy night to schedule a show, but we're gonna definitely have them on again, especially with our new podcast. I'm gonna make this quick announcement, and we're gonna cut things out because I know you gotta go watch SmackDown, get ready for your show later on. That's over the top rope. Tune in. That'll be tonight around 10 o'clock my time and 9 o'clock New Orleans time, right here Facebook Live with Jared JB, Steal Your Dibs, and also Tony, the Tantalizer 111. Tell my man Tony, bro, congratulations on getting his new ride and setting them people straight. And
I will do that.
and tell him I'm glad you ain't slapped nobody, cause I think he's black as me when I sometimes get angry.
uh,
but first of all, I want to say this. We're gonna make a little turn, a little change here. This is our last show, last not just last special edition, but a last edition of the VK Jones Show. We're gonna have a brand new podcast. We're aiming for maybe the middle of February. Me and Jared still gonna talk some things out. We're aiming for a Thursday night, 2 hour podcast. It's gonna be called Live from the Underground. It'll be a brand new podcast. It'll be sports, entertainment, life. So we'll talk about all kind of stuff, man. It's gonna be fun. We'll still stick a little sports into it, but we'll have entertainment too. We'll have guests galore, because we'll be working with Rostream, but also Restream, but we also might be working with Zoom as well. So I'm gonna do what I can to have a guest list together, a consistent guest list each and every week. We're gonna have all kind of subjects, and we're gonna do this. And I hope you're ready to take this to the next level, Jared, man, because I know you've been working with me. I hope you're ready to take this. It's gonna be a fun show. It's gonna be a fun show. We're gonna have all type of guests from sports to entertainment. We're gonna try and get some of these YouTube stars on this thing. We're gonna try our best to have the best show all around. I don't even care about numbers. I don't even care about I don't care. I just want to have fun. And I think this is gonna be a fun show. We'll let you know the for sure date soon on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter, Instagram. We'll let you know the exact date. We're aiming for the middle of February or the third week. We'll let you know for sure the date, and I can't wait for that. I want to thank all the people that's been a part of the VK Jones Show. I would like to thank D. Dexter Turner. I would like to thank Byron Swift, Eduardo Gonzalez, um, let's see, Sequana Wilts, Irv Mallory, Aubrey Moore, also Jared, JB Boyd, Deshaun Denhams, who's been a part of this thing as well. George Peppers, who's been a part of this thing as well. We like to thank each and everybody who's been a guest on my show, who's been a co-host, who's been along for the ride for the last, I say, not 11. We started in 2004, right? So 2004, now 16 years of this show. I didn't. The show never been canceled. I just chose to pull it out, so that counts. And I came back. So we went from one level to the other. We went from mypodcast.com to going to Crescent City Radio to get back to online, Bayou State Sports Saturday, Bayou Sports. We've been in all kind of networks, man. So, man, but it's been a great journey for the VK Jones Show. But now, this is not totally the end of the VK Jones brand. This is just the end of what the VK Jones Show was. We're just turning a page to the next chapter, and that's Live from the Underground. So we can't wait to have that. We'll let you know the date. We appreciate y'all joining us. Appreciate you coming on the ride, man. For VK, for Jared JB Boy, for all the people out here, thank you for joining us on the VK Jones Show Hoops Edition. You have a great weekend. You enjoy all the football you want, all the hoops you want, but whatever you do, 6 feet from each other, wash your hands, don't drink and drive. Be safe, y'all. Man, we'll be back in February, man. Y'all be cool, man. Peace out, man.